Oh, well, you don't go live on your computer.
No, I just mean with being disconnected.
I think back.
I think we're back. Oh my God.
Are we back? Okay, let's just check and give people a second here. Let's see if. Okay.
Oh my God.
It shows we have. Oh, it shows we're live in 2 places at the same
try
time.
the other one and see what happens.
Well, no. We're okay. We're in here. People are moving over. I'm just gonna go put the link over.
Oh my God. Fine. Yeah. Sorry, guys. This is getting. And the camera's still going, so
everything's good.
I'm just gonna out of my nose.
Don't
keep them out of your nose.
Please don't pick your nose. Okay, stop. My goodness.
My goodness, my God, that's not what you say when the cameras are up. You usually scream.
I need to just. It thinks we're still live on the other one, so I'm just gonna put the link.
We are. Yeah. For anybody who's not sure what's going on, our internet dropped, and when it picked back up, it's just making us start a whole new
stream.
New stream somewhere else. Lisa's linking it now.
So, oh look, we see people are coming over. Yay! It's not horrible. Okay.
No, it's horrible. We got to figure this out.
I'm not gonna stress about it. This is just for fun.
Our next video will be on free Wi-Fi from Starbucks.
Okay. So that's done. I'm gonna go open up the old stream, make sure that we can keep.
They're both there. Oh, because that one's still buffering.
It just thinks it's connected when it's not, because YouTube stinks.
Yeah.
Yay, we're back.
Hi guys. Hi. Sorry. Hi again. Where are we? I'm just looking at things.
You're fine. You're fine. Okay, so we had just
YouTube just sucks. I don't know if it's us or YouTube, but once we drop, YouTube is just like, fuck you.
Yeah, it like basically spazzed.
Yeah,
it's like, totally you're done now.
Yeah.
You don't get to keep going.
And we're only on our second reading. Emma,
we finished Emma's. We were on Floyd.
The Floyd. Is Floyd in? Hi, the Floyd. You are next if you can get your question ready. Your
internet popped up a warning that said you're experiencing high streaming. You know, you guys, it is a holiday here, so there's a chance that our internet's just going to be a little squirrely. It just is what it is.
And we're
any witchy stuff? Absolutely. Well, I just did a ritual on my channel recently, and I should have more witchy content coming up in September.
Lisa got a new cauldron at Michael's of all places.
I did.
Super cheap.
2 cauldrons.
Super cheap. And I'm looking at it, flip it over, it's bakeware.
That's why I bought it, because I like to set fires in my cauldron.
Yeah, it's like, wait a second. So somehow somebody who makes bakeware managed to get their product in. Hi, April. Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
we managed to get 31 people over, so we're not doing too bad. Can you all not break the internet anymore? Well, we'll do our best.
Oh my God. I think we might switch over. Not switch over.
We might try Peggy's computer next time.
I think we're going to try my computer next time, because we think my computer gets my computer's a little newer. Yeah. She's got the oldest device in the house, so
we think maybe the internet connection might be stronger on her computer.
So mine might be able to force its way through and keep the signal even when the.
You're welcome, Emma. Sorry for the gong show at the end there. Yeah. So the Floyd, if you want to hit us with your question. Oh, there it is. What do my spirit guides have to tell me?
Okay.
Actually, let's put this one.
I don't think we've ever done a question regarding spirit guides. I don't know if we'll.
It's to me, I just see it as whatever messages come through in the tarot are coming from that source, right?
Yeah,
it's like a general reading, basically.
Well, and it's like these are the messages. These are the messages these are the messages that are coming to you that you need to be open to.
Exactly.
I'm not sure how. We will.
Is the room for me? What? Which deck are you using today? So I've got the Naked Heart Tarot and the Happy Tarot.
I don't understand the question, Darcy.
All right.
We have tons of names right now, so we're not taking any more names at the moment. But if we manage to get through this list and are still able to do some readings, I might throw a few names on at the end.
5 of Pentacles again. So the Floyd, this card is about noticing where you're feeling in lack. So if you're starting to realize that you feel, or not starting to realize, but if you're feeling currently like you're down on your luck, or things just aren't going the way that you want, particularly in your material world, in your physical world, when it comes to money, when it comes to any kind of physical successes, things like that, just notice that even though you might feel like you're down on your luck right now, things will turn around, but you need to be open to opportunity. If you're missing it, if you're not paying attention to what help is around you, you'll miss it.
Okay, so I can agree with that now. So I'm now just.
Oh, look, she agrees with me for once.
For once, yeah, for once. So I'm kind of thinking that where this means in relation to spirit guides is obviously your spirit guides will have information and advice to help you with those things, and that's what you need to be listening for.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I do think that relates.
Yeah.
I mean, we're telling you that this is what you need to be aware of, and your spirit guides will tell you the specifics.
The specifics.
The specifics. Yeah.
The specifics?
No.
So that was the first card. Second card, Ten of Swords. This is another card about feeling like things are just not going well. Yeah. And I would say that if you're in a place right now where feeling like things aren't going, you gotta not hoard it too much. Not hoard it too much. I feel like with the Ten of Swords, a lot of times to me, there's an over dramaticness to this card, which sometimes means that we're caught up in overthinking things. We're caught up in feeling really beat up on. Sometimes we're feeling beat up on because of people in our lives. Maybe you have like a really critical boss or a really critical friend, or you're just being really critical on yourself. Like your inner critic is
this is basically about backstabbing. But
you can do that to yourself.
You could do that to yourself. And there can be people. There could be people around you, or you're in a situation where the people that you're dealing with don't have your best interest in mind.
Yeah. I think these two cards, you just kind of trailed off. Are you?
No, I think that's really about it. I mean, I
think the Ten of Swords often is over dramatic for a reason. But if you're feeling like you're struggling, then the Ten of Swords can sometimes be a reminder that you're lingering too long and feeling beat down and not actually getting up and starting to take those steps to heal and to move forward and to do what you've got to do. Right? Like sometimes it's like
I do agree with you there.
Sometimes there's like a dramaticness. I don't know how else to say it.
Yep.
You're like, yeah, move on.
No. I'm thinking all the things.
The Ace of Swords is the third card, and the Ace of Swords is about paying attention to those things that pop into your head, at least in my opinion. It's very much about insight, truth, clarity, that new, fresh idea, that moment of like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, or, oh, this is how I should work on this problem. And I think a lot of times that truth is already inside of you. You already have it. It's just you haven't tuned in. You're not listening. So I think there's an invitation to listen.
I think
down a little bit.
Let's get there. Oh, now this looks better. Okay. So I think Lisa's spot on. I think what you've got. I think what you've got going on right now is, I think, in terms of spirit guide, in terms of looking for those messages, I really think that you want the spirit guides to tell you, yay, it's going to be chocolate ice cream for dinner. And your spirit guides are telling you, like, dude, somebody's stealing your fucking ice cream, deal with your shit.
Me and my psychic ability where things just pop into my head. Yeah, you need to be listening to that more. You need to be cultivating that voice more and the relationship with that voice.
Well, more. and I think when you relate this to spirit guide and that kind of an energy is like, we always want to hear good news. We always want to hear positive things. Yeah. Now and in terms of spirit, in terms of the things that pop into your head, it's like sometimes the thing that's in your best interest is to be told the bad news.
That's true. Sometimes
it's not like
what's in your gut is the stuff you don't want to hear, and that's why when it's really way easier to tune out.
So your spirit guides right now, in terms of spirit guide, they're not really interested in telling you what you want to hear right now. They're interested in calling you on your shit.
So pay attention.
But it's not in this fuck you kind of a way either. It's like, okay, you got this. You want to find the happy, fluffy way to fix a problem, and they're telling you like, this you can fix this. This is the problem. Fix it. Happy, fluffy might come later, but yeah. And it's not bad news. It's just some truth bombs.
Yeah,
they've got some truth bombs for you that aren't necessarily fun times, but
pay attention.
They're not necessarily leading to bad times either, but obviously, if somebody walks up to me and says, "You're in a toxic workplace and you have to quit," I'm like, "But I need the fucking money." It's not
true that.
Anyway.
Okay, so hopefully that was helpful.
Hopefully that was helpful.
Who's coming up next?
But yeah.
Who's
that?
Elle, it's your
next.
turn. Hit us with your question.
Okay, Elle. How much that? Oh, we're gonna do happy tarot because we want.
I'm probably gonna mostly use happy.
Oh God, but I'm not really liking that.
I feel like, therapy and your self-worth Saturday give me a lot of newfound strength. I'm in a place where I'm able to begin taking on a new life step, but I'm lost as to what that step should be. Help me, Queen. All right.
Okay, that makes
Grunol, my spirit guides are similar to when someone says, "Do you want the good news or the bad news first?"
Yeah, kind of, and that's where Floyd's spirit guides are at right now. It's like nothing. It's
my
not
spirit guides always be telling me, "Girl, get your shit together."
Well,
That's what I was
sometimes you're so like, oh man, but I don't want any more bad news, and it's like, well, yeah, but if you can't deal with the bad news, you're not going to get to the good news.
No, list is closed, Bridget. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so L.
What are her next steps?
I can't wait for my 3 tower cards to pop up.
We're going to go where she is now, where she's going, and how she's going to get there, because that's so perfect for that question.
Well, I think that she already knows where she is now.
I don't care. This is the reading I'm going to do.
But it's L.
Yeah, and I think this is the best. You just don't like positions. You need to get over your crap. Peggy's like, I just want you to pull 3 cards.
I just want you to stop shuffling.
But I like shuffling. Shuffling's the best. Do you want to cut? You ready to cut?
That's why she needs.
You ready to cut?
That's why you need to collect decks, because if you were to try and stick with just one deck, you would shuffle it to death.
I would. It's true.
Hello there, Puppy Doodle. How you doing? What's up?
Where you are now. This is exactly what she just said. The 8 of Cups. It's that moment of like, okay,
happy,
you
fluffy,
put in
fluffy,
all
happy.
Of this.
Yeah, things are good.
Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
You put in all of this work.
Hi.
You've built up those 8 cups. You've built up the resources. You've built up the skills. Now it's time to embark, to step out into someplace new. That is so spot on.
It is. I agree.
I don't care. This is the kind of tarot reader I need. Yeah. Oh, you can look at that.
Okay.
Do you have anything to add? Do you have anything to add to the 8 of Cups?
I think
it's literally the leaving card. It's like it's time to branch out.
Like,
it's time to establish.
Yeah, dealt with some shit. Time to move on.
If you're looking for tangible, this might also be about like doing something that is just for you that you're not currently doing. So if we're talking about relating that to action, you smacked me in the hand.
No, I mean I'm definitely on board, because it absolutely matches with what she said. It's like the perfect card for what she's looking for.
We have.
Do you even know what card that one is?
I do, but she's got so much candy. Sorry.
Jesus Christ, honey.
I was distracted.
It's got candy. This is like the candy deck.
This is
the distraction deck.
This is the Justice card. This is where you're headed. There's a rebalancing coming up. There is an opportunity to see things more clearly. You have a tendency to look at things through a particular lens. And this card tells me that where you're headed is to a place where you're going to be able to see things in a balanced way. Yeah, you're not going to be seeing only through the lens of, say, anxiety, or only through the lens of worry, or only through the lens of fear. You'll be seeing things more as they are. And that's a really excellent place to be headed right now.
Okay, but now how's she going to get there?
The King of Wands. He's so cute.
This card is just so. Look at this. She's just like, ah!
What's really great about this deck actually is the little white book that comes with this deck says your way to happiness is. So I'm going to actually read those, because I think it'd be fun. Okay, so King of Wands. So King of Wands, to me, like Anthony's book calls him the entrepreneur. And to me, the King of Wands is somebody who kind of goes after what he wants. He doesn't sit in and hesitate with, well, what if I fail? What if it doesn't go right?
Don't be afraid to make your own path.
Yeah, and the King.
That's the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is like, I'm going to do this. So just don't pressure yourself over the things that you have to do, or that you should be doing, or that you should be seen doing.
So I'm going to read these 3.
Not worry. Don't worry.
Okay.
Do the things that just let life take you where it will, and don't worry how you're going to get there.
Sorry, I'm not letting you talk about
No, you're not. You're horrible.
Sorry.
You're a nasty person.
Sorry. Okay, the 8 of Cups. Okay,
not.
I'm a little bit.
You know.
This little white book. Okay, I'm going to read this.
I'm
going to read this because this is great. So for the 8 of Cups, it says you can find happiness by cutting your losses. For the Justice card, it says. I really like this though.
I'm trying to practice not looking at the book.
It's got these little you can find happiness by. So for the Justice card, you can find happiness through ethical behavior.
Well, it says the scales of justice are coming into balance, and that's kind of what's going on right now. You're in a much more balanced place to be open to opportunities without trying to force it to happen.
Yeah, but I'm trying you're jumping into other parts of the white book, and I just want to focus on the one part.
I do what I want.
You're the worst.
I do what I want.
You're the worst. Why do I put up with you?
I don't know.
Don't know either.
I don't know. I have no idea.
The King of Wands. You can find happiness by using your power for the greater good. So those were the 3 affirmations from those 3 cards. But in all cases, like if you think about it as a cohesive whole, like what Peggy was saying, don't be afraid.
No, like what I said.
It actually says that.
Yep.
Wait.
Yep. What? Yep.
8 of Cups. Don't be afraid to strike out. Don't be afraid to do new things. On the Dustin says, "Mom, be nice. You gotta be nice to me."
Oh, fine.
The Justice card. You'll be seeing things a lot more clearly and not viewing them only through your particular lens.
My sugar is going up just from handling this deck.
And the King of Wands is Dustin. This is Dustin's favorite deck ever. It's his favorite deck. What do you think?
I don't think it is.
Entrepreneur is.
I don't think that's quite
it's
as
his
interested.
favorite.
I don't think he likes his deck as much as you think. Okay, so I think the overall cards here about justice. About,
justice release.
Yeah, I know. I think basically the cards are like you've got you're in a good place. And
the 8 of Cups definitely quit slagging. Wait, slagging? Isn't that? That's not what I was thinking it was. I was thinking slacking, which is like being lazy.
You're fine.
Never mind.
No, I don't think. I think you're in a place where it doesn't really matter. Relax and enjoy where you are. Don't be in a rush, because that's what the balance of and that was the Justice card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like everything's playing out in a good, balanced, positive way for you. Don't worry about it. Don't be in a
hurry, but also don't be afraid to forge new paths.
Don't force yourself to do things, but also don't talk yourself out of doing things, and just try to
definitely King of Wands is somebody who he's not afraid to throw noodles at the wall to see what sticks. You know what I mean? To just try different things, explore, experiment, and he's not going to be petrified by failure because he doesn't care about failure.
Yeah, but don't worry about what other people think of what it is you might be exploring or thinking about or whatever.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aquarius Tarot.
You're up next. Hopefully that was helpful, Elle. I was a little all over the place. Peggy was pretty good. She kept us on track.
I think it was a pretty solid reading. Things are pretty
very
good.
Positive.
Things are pretty good. Don't stress yourself out.
Yeah.
Relax. If
something
seems interesting, check it out. If it's not interesting, don't worry about it. Forge your own path.
And justice with that balance element sometimes is also about balancing pleasure and
about this post, or I'm going to change that advice.
Sometimes is also about balancing pleasure with responsibility. So also notice when you're weighing yourself down too much with responsibility, not having enough fun, things like that too, right?
Okay, so vice versa. Jennifer's question is, I appreciate the reading because we're awesome.
Just in general, how's my life coming along and what to focus on?
Yeah.
Is this deck making you nuts?
Oh, absolutely.
Are you handling it okay?
Barely.
Sucking it up?
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sweet though. So happy. It's a happy tarot.
I need some insulin.
Yeah, go with the flow for sure.
Yeah. That's how we see it.
All right, cut for Jennifer. What's she focusing on? How's life going
right now?
Woo! Oh, it's the Page of Pentacles. Look at him. Okay, Page of Pentacles to me is legit that person who like that kid who creates the lemonade stand, or who has just rocks to play with and manages to somehow come up with an entire village. Okay, I know that sounded really dark, but you
have rocks.
Hold on.
You have rocks.
But the Page of Pentacles.
All the rocks.
Is the Page of Pentacles. He's resourceful.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Right?
Puppy.
So I feel like this is kind of a nod to you do a really good job of making the best with what you have available. You're not afraid to workshop things a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like this is like almost like a MacGyver-y kind of card to me. It's somebody who's willing to learn, who's not afraid to experiment. Take look. Add words. This is how this works, right? Tag, you're it.
Candy.
Peggy hates this deck so much.
I don't like this deck.
She really does.
I don't like this deck.
You can see the disdain on her face.
I'm gonna start giving you guys bad advice, like really get an axe. Go to the mall.
Page of Pentacles.
What? No, what? She did not even hear that one.
But I can't give you any attention for that because it's reinforcing bad behavior. I'm working on training you properly for the internet. That face. Okay.
Oh my God.
Page of Pentacles.
No. Okay. Yeah. Like you've got like you're in a really good place to experiment, to be creative, in a lot of areas in your life where you're not necessarily go in the kitchen and find out what you can make with 3 packs of ketchup and a bun. Like I don't know.
Sounds disgusting.
Exactly.
What are you gonna do with 3 packs of ketchup and a bun?
Make
a ketchup sandwich.
Turn it into tomato soup and toast the bread. There you
go.
Okay.
Resourcefulness. Good.
Resourcefulness.
Spot on. This is a bit of a pat on the back from the universe. Like, okay,
yeah, no,
this is what you're good at, right?
I like the MacGyver thing though. It's like,
look at this. This is an
ace. So basically, trying out new things is probably a really good idea for you at this point in your life.
Yeah.
Especially things that may require a bit of creativity.
For each person who does a thumbs up this video, a unicorn stabs a Care Bear with its horn. That was epic.
I love
unicorns and I love Care Bears. I don't want them to
There's like a skewer with all these Care Bears stacked up.
That's just, I don't know. Anyways.
A little bit of stuffing coming down everywhere.
Okay. Okay, I've got to.
I might not thumbs up just to see what that looks like.
Oh my word. Okay, next card for Jennifer is the Ace of Cups.
Oh my God, poor Jennifer. Like she gets
the Ace of Cups is the card of blessings. This is like emotional fulfillment is being offered to you. Spiritual fulfillment is being offered to you. There is so much coming your way that is good right now that you might feel like, okay, well, I feel like I keep having to jerry-rig stuff to make things go right. But at the same time, you're being rewarded for those efforts.
The fact that you know how to do that, though, is stellar.
But that's how you are actually able to embrace more happiness, right? You're able to
I'm so sorry,
to milk
puppy.
more joy from life, right? You know what I mean? To pull more out of your experiences, to even...
I can't even tell which is upside right on this card.
It's a cloud holding a cup full
I know, I had to look
water and crystals, and look at the little
can't...
lotus flowers and the ocean. This deck is amazing. I love this deck. Oh, desist. Did desist me? I'll check desist while Peggy looks at that card. Come on now. Focus on your task.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you're on the list, Tina, but you're a little ways down. We've got one,
okay,
2, 3,
so
4,
yeah, good things, sweet.
8 people before you.
Enjoy the things. I mean, I think
itch.
I don't think this card is about jury rigging just to get through the day or anything like that. I think
she almost closed the whole window.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well. We can make these crappy cards go away. I mean, this interesting. Okay, I don't mind the deck.
Be more positive in life now, right?
Yeah. Where are we here then?
And just filming her reaction. Oh my God, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So, and obviously, and that's gonna just being more, just generally being more positive and being more creative and willing to explore new things.
Oh, look at you!
It's definitely putting you in a good spot.
And you got the Knight of Wands, and this is. Hold on, don't steal it yet. Look at him. He's got a skewer of marshmallows.
Yeah.
He's got a skewer of marshmallows, and he's riding a little horse that's on wheels.
I see diabetes in your future is what I see.
Stop. Okay, so he's really going places. The Knight of Wands is somebody who's not afraid to make forward movement. He's not afraid to take chances. He goes for it. He's definitely somebody that can ride. What's the word I'm looking for? That can get pulled forward by his passions, by his creativity, his inspirations, the things that go. You get excited
because I just see marshmallows on a stick.
This is Wands.
Wands.
He's the Knight of Wands. Look at the salamander on his.
Well, there's because the Knight of Wands can also be a certain amount of carelessness, not looking where you're going.
You can be too adventurous,
but in the context of the other two cards,
Knight of Wands was stalking her last week.
But in the context of these cards, I'm kind of seeing that as a good thing right now.
I think so too. There's a certain go for it energy that's around you right now, and all three of these cards are very positive. And are very much like, keep doing what you're doing because it's working, right? Like you're embracing positivity. You're not afraid to try new things. You're being resourceful. You're making the best of what you have around you. And the Knight of Wands is like, go for it. Just follow that go for it energy because it's serving you really, really well.
Well, like I said, and it's in the context of the other two cards.
See, that's so me though. Very open, positive, fluffy, active, spontaneous. And that is a good thing.
That's one of your.
You're in my shuffling space.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to.
This deck just makes me really happy.
Okay then.
You're welcome.
April Harmon is next. Yeah, I see. I just see that you're on a really positive track, and
yeah, it was a very pat on the back kind of reading, and those are always nice to get.
You're in a good place, and you have a lot of bandwidth to take chances, try new things, and not worry too much about the outcome.
Absolutely. All right,
April, you're next.
Hit us with your question, April.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I'm kind of having a hard time with that deck.
Do you want me to swap out?
Nah, you're good. You're good. I'm not really disagreeing with anything that you're saying, which is obviously a benefit.
But all you see when you look at it is Candyland.
All I see is diabetes, really. It's like, that much sugar would kill me.
Is April Harmon still in here? We did lose some people when we had our internet.
Oh, yes, we did.
Moment. I wonder if we're still showing live on the other one. Just curious.
Oh, I hope we're not.
I'm going to check real quick while we're waiting for April's question.
You're going to click the things and fuck something up, aren't you?
No. Also, don't forget, if you didn't make the list, just subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notified the next time we're up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, it finally processed the previous one, so we're good. Okay.
So,
what do I need to know that is in my best interest of my aromatherapy school future career? Or I can ask it this way. What do I need to know that is in my best interest for my future career move?
Okay. Well, maybe we should focus on what do you need to know in the best interest of your current career path?
Yeah.
The cards will tell you something. It'll be fine.
We're going to look at basically generally just what is in your best interest for your career.
We've been actually getting some really good readings. Like this has really been working out for
people have been getting really positive readings with the Happy Tarot. Is it any wonder? Actually, no, that's not true.
No,
we did get some calling out.
I'm just referring about the last. I don't think we've done any readings yet where people are saying that's because like I mean if we do a reading that does not resonate, that does not make sense. I mean obviously we want to hear it, and nobody said that.
Feel free to give us feedback if if what we're saying makes no sense. Let us know. We'll clarify or we'll do whatever. But
Shayla has decided that this is where she needs to be.
The Happy Tarot doesn't work on Peggy's.
Yeah. I'm too grumpy for that.
What do I need to know that is in this interest? Okay. You ready to cut for Harmon? Yeah. For Harmon, for April?
Harmon. That's okay. For the longest time, I used to get Simon and the Hermit's Cave mixed up in this weird way that I referred to Simon as Herman all the time.
Herman?
Don't you remember that?
No, we should call him Herman now forever.
The Hermit's Cave and Simon, because I knew his real name was Simon.
Let's call him Herman.
Is where I was just... This was way back. Well, I guess not that far back. Herman now. No, you don't get to do that.
Elle, can we call Simon Herman? I think he'd like it. What do you think?
Okay. I think, yeah.
The Wheel of Fortune is your first card. This is very much, okay, to some degree, I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is the card that's saying, well, whether you want,
oh my God, please.
Whether you want to or not, things are changing, progress is happening. So there's a certain element of inevitability to this card, a certain element of, regardless of how much control you think you have, things are going to move forward whether you like it or not. Now, I think these are positive changes for you when it comes to your career, but there's a certain amount of going with the flow involved with this card. Like as things happen, as opportunities come up, if you just grab them as they come, your path will be crystal clear. You're going to know exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to happen if you just pay attention, really. Because what's going to happen with a card like the Wheel of Fortune, if a change comes up and you miss it, then let me give you an example. Let's say somebody contacts you or somebody drops a hint that they're interested in working with you from an aromatherapy perspective, and you don't think that they're actually dropping that hint, you miss it, then the wheel just keeps turning. That opportunity will pass you by. But if you pay attention, then your steps are going to become really, really clear. I just can't, that's all I keep thinking. Well, it's going to become clear. It's going to become clear.
Yeah. I mean, change is going to happen. It's going to be what it's going to be. For good or for bad. Oh, are you finally done with me? But it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm just going to make half words, half sentences and just babble for a bit.
We like to babble. It's fine.
I always see the Wheel of Fortune. It's like, wee, give it a spin.
I see the Wheel of Fortune, though, as something that spins without your assistance. In other words, it's spinning whether you like it or not.
There's always going to be context to it.
I definitely see that inevitability, though.
Being the very first card is like whatever's going on to make you concerned about this, it's going to play itself out, and there's not really much you can do to stop it.
Yeah.
But there's not really much you should do to try and stop it because it is what it is. So it's like, it's like trying to make a really toxic, it's like trying to salvage.
Don't get in the wheel of the way of the wheel. Don't get in the way.
Yeah. It's like trying to save a toxic relationship, and then you can't figure out why things get worse.
Absolutely.
So,
and Laura, no, I don't have either of those decks, but I've seen them both.
Yeah, I think it's just, you're in the middle of a cycle that's going to play itself out.
We've been getting a lot of fives today, I feel like, but five of cups is your second card. And the 5 of cups is about focusing on the things that you've lost or on the grieving process or on sadness over focusing on what you still have available. And I think this is very much a card about don't get hung up on the losses. Don't get hung up as you move through your schooling, as you move through the next steps. Don't get hung up on things that you perceive as failures, because if you do, you'll miss the new opportunities that come your way.
I like the imagery of this in other decks where it's showing like 3 empty cups and the person's looking at the cups and getting upset and forgetting that there's 2 full cups behind.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's some stuff going on. There's some stuff going on right now that you're not really happy about.
See, it kind of echoes this message though that I was saying about don't miss the opportunities that come by, and you will miss them if you're focusing on failures, if you're focusing on the losses.
You're like right now you're having a tendency to focus on those 3 empty cups and be concerned about what's going on with them.
See, and April says that's important. It's going to become clear because she goes back and forth about when will she know, basically.
Yeah. So, but there's 2 empty cups behind you. If there's something about this that isn't working in your favor, 2 full cups, sorry. If there's something about this that isn't working out for you, you have other opportunities.
Yeah.
Within the same field, within whatever. I mean, you know what's going on, but I think you also know that there's a couple of things that are going on that are if something happens here to make this a problem, there's a couple of things over here that are still going to make things okay for you anyway.
Exactly. And finally, the High Priestess is your third card. And the High Priestess is very much about listening to your intuition. When you get those little hits of maybe I should be working on blah, follow that train of thought. It might lead you to deciding not to ultimately do a thing. But if you're listening, you'll actually explore those thought processes. And kind of echoing the message of the Five of Cups, if you're too busy paying attention to the losses, you won't even get these intuitive hits. You won't notice them when they happen because you'll be too busy focusing on something else. So I think the 2 cups remaining are these like opportunities or these slightly less obvious, because the High Priestess, it's never right in your face, right? It's a little more subtle. You usually have to dig a little deeper to figure out what's happening. Because she's the keeper of secrets and deeper knowledge, intuition.
So I mean, the wheel's going to turn. Whatever's going on, whatever's going on is going to play itself out. And there's nothing much you can do to change that, for good or for bad. It might just be to make some like maybe instead of being able to get a student loan, you're going to have to work for an extra year. Yeah. I don't know what your situation is,
but definitely pay attention, because both of these cards, the High Priestess and the Wheel, are both about like paying attention. Pay attention, Don't miss the cues. And even the Five of Cups speaks to where your obscurity comes from.
And there's 2 major arcana in that.
Yeah.
So
Wheel of Fortune and High Priestess, you're definitely at a major turning point in your life. Those 2 cards echo that. So don't miss out on the opportunities by getting too hung up on the things that don't go right.
Yes, it's like. Well, it's like you're so busy. You want this. You want the thing. You want the thing. You want the thing. So other opportunities are just whizzing past you on either side.
Exactly.
So
exactly. Up next, we're gonna have Emma Ray.
Oh, thank you, Emma.
April. Goosebumps. Thank you so much. Oh my God,
I'm even wearing my glasses, and I'm still screwing. Amara Boss is next.
Amara, you're up. Hit us with your question when you're ready.
Oh, and abundance. Okay, we were doing this before. We would list who's coming after.
Oh, so they can kind of be ready.
So
it's going to be abundance.
Amara, your question whenever you're ready. The next person after Amara is Abundance Tarotini. So you're next after.
There's Amara. I have an opportunity to open my own brick and mortar business. I'd like to know what the cards have to say about the energy of the situation. Switching back to Candy. Move your arm. That's my shuffling spot.
I'm gonna go over here and pet my puppy he's liking that too.
Bye, Barb. Thank you so much for the help.
Oh, bye, Barb.
Take care. Have a good day. All right. So, opportunity to open your own brick and mortar
business. Okay. The cards have to say about the energy of the situation.
Okay. Last shuffle, and you can cut. Get my hands around the deck here. It's so little. It's like the perfect size, actually. All right.
Well, it's all about candy, so it has to be bite-sized.
It has to be bite. That's so cute. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She needs better deck choices.
Your first card is the Queen of Cups. I think that this first card is talking about, the interesting thing about the Queen of Cups is that she's not afraid to dive into the more emotional realm or the spiritual realm. She's not just nuts and bolts. And I think the important thing to be aware of is to dive into some self-awareness. How are you going to feel making what you love to do something that comes with brick and mortar, that comes with overhead, that comes with a certain amount of pressure to turn a certain kind of profit? Be clear about your feelings. Be clear about your don't try to pretend your feelings aren't important or that your emotions around what you do aren't important. So make sure that you center that in your decision-making process. So make sure your emotions get a lot of real estate in the decision-making.
Well, I kind of read this a little bit off.
No, go for it. Tell me. Tell her.
Well, no, it's like, okay, like the reality, okay, like the non-tarot thing is the reality of a brick and mortar business it's a lot of serious work.
Yeah.
And so so basically the Queen is, and what suit is this again?
Cups.
Because I thought, I'm thinking cups, but it needs to say it right on it.
Cups. She's at the sea and she's holding a cup.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, it's a really happy, good time this
whole deck is a happy, good time.
It's like this whole deck is like just high on sugar and something, like probably cheap drugs, but anyway. No, I mean, you feel like you're in a really good place for this right now. It's really exciting. There's a whole lot of things about this that are really exciting, really flattering, very validating.
April, that was the Naked Heart Tarot. Third edition.
And really good. That's a really good place to be in. As the very first card, that you may be thinking with that versus the dollars and cents and the whatever the rest of the cards will tell us a little bit more about that. But you're in a really good place. This offer is like, it's overwhelming, but in a very, very exciting, high energy kind of way.
I got the urge to shuffle, so you're going to cut for the next card.
Okay, then.
Sometimes it happens. I don't know. All right. Judgment. Judgment is very much about shedding the old, stepping forward into the new. There's a call. Judgment is, we see the trumpet as one of the major symbols of the Judgment card. This call to action, call to evolution, a calling. If your work is a calling to you and you feel really, really passionate about it, that's something to pay attention to as part of the energy of the situation, as part of your decision.
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me and what stands out to me is that
both
of these
Judgment
cards
is a little bit less emotional and a little bit more dealing with that, finding that balance between the.
No, you're thinking Judgment.
No, I'm still thinking.
Justice to me, or sorry, so you're thinking Justice. We're talking Judgment. Oh my God. To me, the Judgment card.
It's all that candy is
with the trumpet is very much about. So here's what I'm thinking. Let me just get my words out of my mouth. Judgment. Oh my God, no, I'm super messed up in my head. Judgment and the Queen of Cups are both about the meaningfulness of what you do, and that being a huge factor. You need to be clear with yourself about how important the work you do is, so that you can go in with eyes wide open either way you make your decision. Because if it's that important to you, you need to be aware that sometimes when you're running the business, because I've done this, sometimes you have to really be aware of where you have to set aside that I just want to do the thing, and look at numbers and profit and overhead. These are things.
Well, yeah,
you know
it's like, yeah, like right now you're at a very emotional stage in your process where, and this is reminding you to look at the more factual nuts and bolts aspects of what's going on.
Absolutely.
There's no negativity at this point. It's just a call to emotional awareness, one thing, and then tangible day-to-day reality awareness.
Yes.
There may be a little bit more research for you to do.
Yeah, like
we're
not seeing a lot of groundedness yet in the reading.
I'm not seeing bad things though.
No, not bad.
I'm just seeing like, hey, do a little research. Make sure don't make this decision based entirely on emotion.
Hi, Laugh. No, we take a list, and the list is full right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, list is full.
Because, so I just kind of want to point out too. We're not seeing a lot of we're not in a research. Like a lot of these cards aren't about the research, the nuts and bolts. They're about how you're feeling. The third card that comes up is the Devil.
Okay.
The Devil is be aware of how you hold yourself back. You know, you are the one that chains you. You are the one that. So this can be self-sabotaging. This can also be being bound to outdated beliefs, outdated practices. This can be all the different ways you sort of trap yourself. So be very, very clear with yourself about where you're at, what your.
Oh, I did it again. Don't worry, I didn't turn anything.
What your current capabilities are, what you have supporting you. Try not to get like lost in any kind of self-delusion. I think is going to be really, really important as you move forward.
Yeah, well, I think that's pretty.
There's definitely, I feel like this is in the very early stages. I'm currently in a place where I have to balance my place in it and my investor's place.
Yeah.
And that's don't let yourself get. Yeah, because if you've got an investor,
don't let yourself get flattered into making a deal that's not in your best interest.
That exactly. Yeah.
But there's nothing here that says don't do it.
But you need to go in eyes wide open with a lot of self-awareness.
Set the emotion aside and bring on your. Ask for the like if you're saying you have investors, ask for the financials, ask for everything, get the information that you need. So
yeah, don't be so flattered by this is what I'm meant to do that you don't be so take care of yourself practically.
Yeah. I mean, based on what you're saying, I get the sense that you're a little bit more that you're more aware of that already.
Yeah.
So I don't see a problem that way.
Yeah.
Just so but even and you know what, from personal practical advice, phone a friend. Get somebody in there that's going to be a little bit less emotionally involved. Somebody that's going to be happy for you, but a little bit more practical minded to help
and
you
look after your best interest.
To help you sort out the more practical side of things, so that you don't make an emotion-based decision, no matter how flattered you are, and you should be fine.
Yeah, and be aware of how much this work means to you. I think that's a really important part of the message.
Well, no, but that's a trap because
trap. No, it's like I guess what I'm saying is don't pretend that how much you care about what you do is a factor. lack of self-delusion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, look at me with the yoga, right? Like, be aware how much it means and what you are and aren't willing to compromise as part of making a business successful. So don't be afraid to be honest with yourself about how much the actual work means to you.
And also, okay, I agree with you.
Okay, you have to think it through.
I have to. Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm agreeing
Fair
with
enough.
my wife.
Hopefully that was helpful. I know it's weird, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't get a sense that you're in a bad place.
No, me either.
But I do get you in a sense where you need to be a little bit more focusing on the facts and a little bit less focusing on the emotion.
Don't forget to thumbs up the video.
Abundance Tarotini is next.
You're up. We're gonna shuffle. I'm gonna shuffle while I wait for your question.
And after that is Mr. Ward.
Ooh, and then it's Mr. Ward.
Woohoo, bad advice time. Oh wait, no.
I'm a little stuck in my studies. Can I get some advice on getting unstuck? I'm doing it next to work. And find the time balancing difficult. I'm a real Virgo and want it perfect. Gotcha. Okay. Have a good day, Elle. Or evening, rather.
Yeah, it's like getting on to bedtime for some people.
Abundance Tarotini. I'm a little stuck in my studies. Can I get some advice on getting unstuck? I'm doing it next to work and find the time balancing difficult. I'm a real Virgo and want it perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. It completely makes sense. Of course, it means a lot, and I worry the most about how much influence the investors want to have. It. Libra and me is really questioning. Yeah. You're welcome.
Well, like I said, and if you have investors, get it in writing. I don't care if it's your best friend. I don't care if it's your closest relative. Get it in writing, because once it's in writing, then you know exactly how much involvement they're going to have, and that's just practical advice. But
totally.
Yeah, once you look past the flattering and the emotion, you'll find that you'll make the right decisions for yourself.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right. So Abundance Tarotini, stuck in studies, time balancing.
So basically, work-life balance and this.
Well, work-study balance, basically.
Work-study, yeah. Okay.
All right. Ready to cut?
Yep.
Oh
my God!
I always have to finish on a rifle if I can. Okay. You go. All right, so for Abundance Tarotini, your first card is the Three of Pentacles. This is interesting because this is a card about work, study, progress, but it's specifically about collaboration, about working with others.
I call that verbal illiteracy, when you just can't pronounce, accidentally or otherwise can't pronounce a word properly.
So two things popped into my head about this. Number one, when you're at work, make sure that you're leaning into your opportunities to share your workload where necessary, where it makes sense. This isn't about shucking your responsibilities, but it is definitely about don't try to do it all at work and don't try to do it all at school. When you're at school or when you're doing your work with others on a team, you might be the type of person who feels like you have to fill in the gaps for everybody else. And you might have to reel in that tendency to take on more than you actually need to take on. So be aware of where you're maybe signing up for more work than you need to.
I think this is card in the position it is. It says that that's already what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you need to start identifying the areas in which you're doing it.
Yeah. Look at where you're taking on too much.
Look at where you're taking on too much.
But this is about how to work well with others too. So I kind of feel like this echoes your point. Sorry, it's not an arguing, but it's like there are opportunities you're maybe not seeing to share some of the workload. This could even be in your home life, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like if there's areas in your life where whether or not you are taking on too much, you're not necessarily going to have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
So this is you're already taking on too much in some areas of your life, and it might be that you're taking on too much in other areas of your life that are not related to work or studying, but that the backlash of that is impacting this.
Yeah.
Like maybe you've got a roommate who is like, well, if I kick in an extra $20 a month, will you do all the housework?
Yeah.
It might be that simple to fix your problem. So you have to look at areas where you're taking on too much, or you're avoiding opportunities to reduce your
share.
work.
Yeah, to reduce or share. Yeah, absolutely.
My one cousin was a clean freak. If I had offered her a few extra dollars a month, hey, as my share of the rent, I'll give you a few extra dollars, she would have happily taken. I didn't think about it then, but
yeah, you're like, oh,
it's like yeah, oh hey, if I give you $20 a month or kick in an extra 20, can you do? Oh yeah, sure, not a problem. But she would have been ecstatic.
Yeah.
So there's areas in your life in which you're taking on too much. Some of those areas might be easy to sort out. Some of them might be hard, and some of them might not be related to work or studies, but could definitely impact your work and studies.
Absolutely.
If you find a solution. So start looking at the areas where you're taking on too much, especially in situations where you shouldn't be or don't need to be.
Okay, I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent on this card. So this is the Knight of Cups, and one thing I've noticed about the Knights in this deck is each one has a slightly different horse that they're riding. This one is riding a seahorse that's like on a bouncy. It's like a bouncy toy seahorse.
Oh my God.
And this child is like, wee! And like having a great time.
Justin, are you still here?
No,
or did you run away in fear of this deck?
So the thing is, what's standing out to me about this is that you've lost don't you take that card from me yet. You've lost your ability to see the pleasure and the joy and the fun in this moment in your life. You're so burdening yourself with, I've got to do well, I've got to do this, I've got to do that you're losing the fun. And even at work, you don't get to have it yet.
Oh my God.
Even at work, there's fun. Even at school, even at school, there's fun. You're sort of losing the joy in it a little bit because you're putting so much pressure on yourself. There's an element of just have fun that I think this card is kind of reminding you, like, it'll all feel more joyful if you let some of that joy in. And I know that seems tricky, but definitely I think that's calling you to do it. Thank you, Esoteric Wolf. I agree. I think it's gorgeous trimmed.
It's a cute deck. It's just I'm having a hard time with it.
Poor Peggy. She's like,
it's
this
all
is
about
the child deck. I can't do it.
No, it's not that's a big thing. Yeah, no, you could be having a lot more fun than you are.
Yeah.
So I think once you identify the areas in which you are taking on too much, especially like I said, there's areas where you're taking on too much where you shouldn't be, where you don't need to be, where if you like, no, let somebody else take care of it, the somebody else are gonna go, yeah, not a problem.
Yeah.
I think you're
Knight of Cups, by the way. I don't know if I said that.
I think there's a large part of this that you're doing to yourself just by this need to make sure everything's going well.
Yeah.
That it doesn't occur to you that other people will pick up the slack if you just let them.
Absolutely. Your third card is another knight. So that's two knights in this reading, which is pretty interesting. Knights are about Knights are about forward movement, getting stuff done, high energy. So pulling into your resources of energy are going to be important, but you've got the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Coins or Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is that cautious, careful. Well, here's what's interesting. These two cards combine. So you've got the Knight of Cups, who's all about following their heart and having fun and that sort of thing. And then you've got the Knight of Pentacles, who's basically going to be really careful. He's not going to drop his responsibilities. He's going to fulfill his duties, fulfill his responsibilities. He's going to get it done. And I think but he's not in a hurry. And neither one of these cards actually are about moving quickly. The Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords are both more, you got to stop doing that, babe.
Well, you got to find someplace better for me to put
stuff, but the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands are both cards about moving quickly. And these cards are not. The Knight of Cups is about following the heart, following the joy. And the Knight of Pentacles is about being cautious, being careful, taking your time. He's the tortoise in the story of the tortoise and the hare. So don't be afraid to,
you're still going to get there.
But here's something interesting, actually, that just popped in my head. You might need to give yourself more time to finish your schooling. And part of what might be happening is you're pressuring yourself to finish it at a certain time, which is adding a hell of a lot of unnecessary pressure to yourself. If you actually gave yourself permission to, so what if it takes an extra semester or an extra quarter or an extra year? If you gave yourself that permission to take things a little slower, you might find that that's how you can reconnect with the joy in the situation.
I don't know. I just get the sense that,
hello, everybody just joining.
Taking the time to identify where you're taking on too much in areas where you don't need to be, where it won't affect anything or anyone. I think the rest of it's going to fall into place. And
agree.
Whether or not, like Lisa said, maybe think about the idea that you might take an extra semester. You may not need the extra semester, but reminding yourself that you can will help you relax and make everything else easier to deal with.
Absolutely. So hopefully that was helpful.
Sometimes just reminding yourself that you can do a thing changes everything about your outlook to make it easier for you to do the thing.
Yeah, it's almost if I know it's like the to-go cup. If I know there's an out, if I know there's a different way, then I can lean into what I'm currently doing with less stress.
Yes. Some not, because if you're stressed, like, you know, when you're stressed, you're not sleeping well, you're tense, you're this, you're that. If I'm tense and tired and trying to accomplish a chore, it's going to take me twice as long.
I just realized, oh, they're slightly bigger. Okay.
So I mean, that's something else too. I
totally agree. Yeah.
But yeah, just try to, you know,
okay, I can take it a little more time. I'm going to try to have more fun. This is really on point. Oh, good.
Good.
Hooray.
Good.
It's going to be Mr. Ward next if you're still
Mr.
around.
Ward, and don't be afraid to ignore the, you know, don't sweat the small stuff. Let other people take up the slack.
Yeah.
And there might be, like I said, like that whole housework example, there might be little things that you can do that can make a phenomenal difference in your life right away.
True that.
Mr. Ward is next.
Mr. Ward, and then it'll be, what's the next one? Mihaela Tarot or something? Mihaela, you'll be after Mr. Ward. And if you're not here, Barry, that's cool. We'll just move along.
Oh, yeah, because Barry
I think he was going to have to go.
He wasn't. Oh, yeah, he had to leave. So, yeah, so are you still here, Barry?
We'll give it a second because there's a little bit of a delay as usual.
Yeah, he was pretty sure he wasn't going to be here.
Yeah. Do.
So, Mihaela.
You don't want to get flung off your horse. True that, esoteric wolf. True that.
Mihaela Tarot, are you still here?
Whoever hits us with their question next, Barry or Mihaela, is who we're going to do.
Well, I think Barry's gone, so we'll move on to Mihaela. If Barry shows up, we'll just slot him in.
Mihaela Tarot, what should I know about this guy I start to like? Okay. Or about your connection to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're doing pretty good today.
Yeah, trucking along. Okay, give us a cut.
The dogs are ignoring us, which is always nice.
I think they're starting to figure out when we're live that they just need to wander off until we're done.
That's true.
Because they do learn, right?
They sometimes. Like it. Well, they seem to think that, yeah, they have their own.
So your first card is the 10 of Wands, which tells me you have too many expectations. I don't know why, but that's the first thing that popped into my head. The 10 of Wands tends to be about burdening or overburdening yourself. But for whatever reason, in this particular context, the first thing is that I feel like there's too many expectations or too much weight coming from your end of the equation. So there's a little too much. Maybe you're putting too much on it too soon, or in your head, you're like, sometimes we get ahead of ourselves, right? We're like 10 steps in the future. Like, oh my God, I feel like I have this connection. This could totally be the one.
You know what? Okay, I read you're putting too much pressure on yourself to be the perfect girlfriend.
Ooh, interesting. Well, this isn't. I don't think they're together yet. This is just somebody she's starting to like.
No, that's fine.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I think you're putting too much pressure on yourself to be the person to attract his attention. To, I'm not saying this right. Like always making sure that the makeup is perfect. Always making sure that the clothing
that actually
is perfect.
Speaks to the next card I just pulled because
so I think there's an element of trying too hard to
This connects actually right directly to this card. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but it's actually
it's a pretty generic. So you're creating burdens for yourself already.
To Peggy's point about trying too hard, the next card that comes up is the Star, and she is naked. Like, well, okay, she's a little kid, so there's little hearts and the naughty bits. But the thing about the Star is that there's a call to vulnerability. There's a call to let your guard down a little bit. So when it comes to building a connection with this guy, make sure that you are being vulnerable. Make sure that you're letting your guard down so that if he's going to get to know you, he's going to get to know the real you.
Yes.
And not just what you're projecting.
Make sure, don't. Yeah,
that's the quickest way to get hurt, right? Is to hide who you really are. And then later on down the road, you're like,
I've had so many cousins like that they felt like they had. I think we all did when we were younger, where you feel like you have to behave and act a certain way, and then the guy starts to like you. You go on a couple of dates, and then the very first time you actually relax and act like yourself, he's turned right off, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
I don't know that your situation is this extreme where you are creating a lot of expectations.
Trying too hard and need to let more vulnerability in.
Okay, trying too hard and putting too many expectations on yourself in order to attract his attention, keep his attention, or whatever. It's a very common and normal thing to do. So focus on, it's okay to make sure your hair and makeup are nice when you're around him. But
make sure you're also letting your guard down.
Make sure you're also, if he tells a funny joke, laugh at his joke. If he tells a bad joke, say, oh, that's a pretty bad joke. You don't have to be mad at him. You don't got to treat him like crap. Don't pretend that you like football when you hate it. That's not going to do you any favors.
This is like the best Five of Cups
Be yourself and be honest, because if you're going to have a good relationship with this guy, it has to be based on who you really are, and not
we need to do this one.
Oh, we need to do this one.
This 5 of Cups is the best. He spilled his ice cream. He's got 3 spilled cups, but he's got 2 full sundaes behind him. So to me, this is a reminder that regardless of how this particular connection plays out, remember there are other connections that are meant for you that are still out there. And I think this kind of speaks a little bit to the 10 of Wands. It's like, don't overburden yourself to the point where you're going to be or put too many expectations on each connection so that it's this crushing loss when or if it doesn't work out.
I'm not seeing that way.
What are you saying?
Well, kind of what I'm saying is like, if you like this guy and you trip in front of him, laugh it off, walk away. You know what I mean? Like, don't be so focused on what if I do these things? Oh my God, because if he's gonna like you, there's still this and this. Let your flaws be more. Don't be so afraid of hiding all of your flaws or your perceived flaws, because sometimes people find that stuff charming. Well, like, okay, you burden yourself by creating expectations on yourself, and then when you don't live up to your expectations of how you should be behaving to get his attention, you're gonna you're gonna hurt your own feelings. But if you're, hi Rose. I think our list is actually full. So we probably won't have a chance. But I mean, if this is gonna happen, if you say something silly, if you embarrass yourself, roll with it. If you're a decent person and he's a decent guy who wants to be with you, he's still gonna want to be with you. Yeah. But if you are so busy being upset, my cards. If you do this, he'll change his mind. Yeah, basically. I mean, he might just change his mind anyway. And then my original point still stands, which is don't put so much pressure on the situation that you're going to be completely crushed with each. Oh yeah. Just remember that it's a process of getting to know people and finding out if there's a connection. It's fine. It's fine. Be yourself. You spilled all this water. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine, and it's not like you have to show up tomorrow in track pants with your hair not done. Yeah. But like, just remember to. My one cousin. Oh, sorry, I'm bumping everything. My one cousin, we would go to the beach, full hair, full makeup. At the beach. At the beach. Oh, full hair. I didn't have very much fun. Full hair, full makeup. When she went into the water, you weren't allowed to get her face wet. If you splashed her, she would lose her freaking mind. Because she wanted to go to the beach to meet boys. She was so busy trying to be perfect. To me, she was also 14. She was so busy. Have a good day, Kay. Oh, bye, later. She was so busy trying to be perfect to attract the boys' attention that she ended up turning them away. Yeah, turning them off because it's like she was overly fussy. It's like because these guys are these guys are coming up. We're at the beach and there are people that they know from school and whatever, and they're coming over and it's like they're like leaving. Like, hey, you want to go for a swim? No, I can't get my hair wet. And they're like, okay. And then they look to the other girls and go, do you girls want to go for a swim? And the other girls are going, absolutely. Yeah. And then she couldn't figure out why she didn't have a boyfriend. It's like, because they're over there having fun and you're over here trying to be pretty. Exactly. So hopefully that was helpful, Mihaela. Hopefully it was helpful. Focus on just focus on being yourself. That's going to take you a long way. Teresa Bell. We're trying to read Peggy's handwriting. My handwriting is bad. It's really bad. Hit us with your question when you're ready. They should be scratch and sniff. I know. I feel like some of these. Oh my God! No, that would be amazing. I'd be scratching them all the time. How does my boyfriend really feel about me? Will this go anywhere? So we'll look at the sort of energy around the relationship and go from there. Because I still don't necessarily believe in my reading practice anyway. I don't think we can really say how somebody else feels, but we can definitely look at the energy around a situation, the energy around the relationship. We'll do a reading. We'll see. We can't really say he feels like this because the cards just kind of don't work out. Well, I guess they do work. They can for some readers. It's just not how I read. Yeah, I was just saying it depends on who's doing the reading because there's people that do really amazing readings and stuff like that, but that's not something that either one of us do. Okay. But I'm just throwing cards now. All right, one last shuffle and then we can cut for Charissa. I keep wanting to say Clarissa, but it's Charissa. Okay, you ready to cut? You ready? Ready? I need more coffee. You do. You are going to make me a fancy coffee today. I am. Now I'm yawning. Okay, here we go. All right, first card up, Charissa. Oh, it's a 5 of Cups. So the first thing that pops in my head when I see this in relation to your question is that you're focusing on what's wrong and not on what's working well. I feel like there's an over focus on maybe you guys have an argument and you're over focusing on that and letting yourself get feeling really insecure
when there's lots of good stuff in that relationship, you're just kind of over focusing on the things that make you feel uncomfortable.
You're so worried about what he's feeling that you're not thinking about what you're feeling.
Bingo. That's a really good point.
I don't know what you're feeling or whatever, but you matter in the relationship too.
Yeah, absolutely. The 7 of Cups is our next card, and this is a card about being having your head in the clouds a little bit. You're so busy staring after this character is so busy looking into the case at all the things she wishes she had that she doesn't even notice that she's got things that she already does have. Did I say that right? Yeah.
Yes.
So she's got a little cat friend. She may not have a big Sunday right now, but she's having a day at the beach. She's got her little friend. She's got a balloon or a little lollipop over in the sand. There's candy all around.
In the sand? She's a lollipop in the sand.
She does. There's a lollipop in the sand right there, and there's some little candies right here.
Oh, there's things that she can just go, yeah.
There's things she can enjoy.
I'm giving you a hard time.
Yeah, there's things she can enjoy and appreciate that are around her, but she's so busy looking at what she can't have right now or what she wishes she had that she's not focusing on the now. And this really echoes what we were getting from the 5 of Cups too. There's definitely I'm always putting his feelings in consideration.
Yeah, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Stop doing that because even if no matter what he feels about you, he's also learning and you're accidentally training him to not put your feelings first.
Absolutely. Peggy has it spot on.
Yeah. Decent people can, through sheer repetition, be trained to not to behave badly.
So the third card is the 3 of Wands. And the 3 of Wands is very much about embarking on something new, on seeing life and your experiences as a bit of an adventure, on being open to how they can play out. The 3 of Wands lets go of some expectations and instead is like, I'm going to see what's on the horizon. I'm going to just see what's possible. I'm going to take some of the pressure off of knowing exactly where it's going to go and enjoy the journey. So this is a very early stage in the relationship. It's a very early stage in...
Sorry, yeah, we got to find a better spot to put that stuff.
It's a very early stage in the situation in your relationship. So 3s are at the beginning, right? Things are still relatively young in the grand scheme of things. So try not to over-focus on where they're headed and enjoy where they are. Enjoy the journey. Does that make sense? Be open, but don't be fixated on a particular future. I hope that makes sense.
Think about what you want and what's best for you. Think about your feelings. Oh
no, Kay. Sorry.
How long did it take you to get yours?
I got mine
but we're
right
in
away.
Canada.
Yeah.
We're in Canada, so we get it from Amazon Canada, not Amazon.com. Yeah, no, I think that you're in a position right now where you're worrying more about, you're worrying.
The focus is on the wrong things, essentially.
Focus on what you want, what you need. Focus on what's best for you. I mean, I think I get the sense from the 7 of Cups here that, that what's behind the glass and in those cups is all of the things that you think he wants, he needs, he this, he that. Now, a good relationship means you be aware of your partner's needs. But if that's the only thing you're focusing on, then you're not focusing on what you want. You're not focusing on your needs. And he's going to lose respect for that sooner or later anyway.
Yeah.
So I think, I forgot, Kay. I don't know why I forgot.
Well, you know what? Did you order Buttermint or did you order the creamy?
You're in like the Kawarthas area, right? Or not Kawarthas.
Hold on. Did you order the Buttermint tea or did you order the one that was called Peppermint and Creamy Vanilla? Because the Peppermint Creamy Vanilla is our version. Buttermint might be coming from somewhere else or another seller.
Oh, imported, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Anyways, random. Yeah. And you're welcome, Teresa. I hope that was helpful. Oh, you did order the Buttermint. Yeah, so it could be coming from the UK or from an individual seller because I think locally we can only get the Peppermint Creamy Vanilla.
But yeah, I think just take some time thinking about what you want and what you need. If he cares, he'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be afraid to put yourself first and try to get your feet grounded in the reality of where you are and what you need.
Yeah.
Who's going to be up next, babe?
I'm sorry. I'm feeling bad because I forgot that Kay lives in Ontario because.
Oh, it's going to be Christine. Bunny Kisses is up next, and then Aniris Gilbert.
Aniris Gilbert, yeah. Bunny Kisses.
Thanks, Dustin. So if you're here, Christine, hit us with your question. And then Aniris Gilbert, just be ready because you'll be up next.
Yep.
Christine, I can't remember if she said she had to go, but I don't think so.
How did I forget that Kay is in Canada? Because I'm stupid.
You're not stupid. You can't remember everything.
You know what? I forget.
Stop beating yourself up, yo.
I'm not gonna beat myself up too badly.
Myself up, you would be like, stop.
Well, no, I'd help for a while and then I'd.
I haven't seen any comments from Bunny
Is Bunny Kisses still here? Oh, Bunny Kisses also said she had to go do her workout.
Okay,
so she's probably
that's right. She did. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yep. I forgot to mark that.
You should have put a note. Yeah, and Nearest Gilbert, you are.
And Nearest is next. What's your question, Nearest? I'm gonna wait for the question by going for a pee because if I don't do that, I need to announce.
Peggy BRB, yo. Peggy, look above.
Dirt.
Oh, I literally looked straight up.
Yeah, she's in Ontario.
How ditzy am I? I literally went like that. So I was like, oh my God, what if there's a spider? Literally where my brain goes. We're in spider season right now because like just the very beginnings of fall, late summer, and the spiders come out, and there's been spiders everywhere lately, and it's not a good time. All right, Aniris, you are welcome, Spirited North. Take care, and hopefully we'll see you again. Remember, guys, if you didn't get on the list this time, don't forget to hit the bell on my channel and hit the subscribe because we don't schedule these. We just do them whenever. And if you get the bell, you're more likely to find out early, like when we're first going live. What message, Kay? Oh, I'm Embracer. I'll tell her when she gets back. Don't worry. I'm making a doll with pins as we speak. Nice. So yeah, you can hit us whenever you want with your question, Aniris, and we will jump right in. I'm really loving this deck, I have to say. Really loving it. You know what? It's weird, Lady Night, because sometimes they hit me right on time, and sometimes those notifications are super late. It's like there's no rhyme or reason. I think YouTube's trying to like get it together, but who knows? Will my Cancer person come back and have a heart-to-heart conversation with me? Of course I love it. It's so me. Okay, so we'll just look at what is in the cards, what is in the future for this connection, and where are things headed. Let's just see. Remember that when we read predictively, at least when I read predictively, it's more about trajectory, like based on everything as it is right now, this is where things are headed. And so lots of things can change that course, and your future is always in your hands, okay? So let's see what we got. I have to cut by myself. First card up. Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is somebody who has a tendency to get swept up in their feelings. There's somebody who has a tendency.
You knew it was
she interrupted my flow.
You knew it was coming back.
Okay, the question is about we're doing a more predictive reading about what's happening with a Cancer person. Will they come back and will they have a heart-to-heart conversation? So Knight of Cups is somebody who's very swept up in their emotions. They're led by the heart. And this can be you, or this could be the other person. So I'm just shifting the camera slightly. You keep trying to grab the card.
Yes, I do.
So for me, like, remember, this is the character that's bouncing on the seahorse, like, wee. This person is focused on short-term thinking. So this is somebody who's thinking in the short term, what's making me happy? In the short term, what's making me comfortable? They're maybe not the kind of person who's great at looking at long-term connections or big picture thinking.
Well, squee personalities are generally short on
big picture thinking.
That's
me. I'm
short
a
on communication.
Personality. Oh, short on communication. Yeah. So definitely, this is somebody who can be a little bit fly by night. This is like the Casanova, the romantic, the person who's like, this is where my heart's leading me. Now this is where my heart's leading me. Now this is where my heart's leading me.
Okay.
So they can be a little all over the place. The Five of Pentacles tells me that you're feeling left out. You're feeling cut off from communication. You're feeling like you've been cast aside. And that's a valid thing to be feeling. But I feel like you also might be so caught up in identifying as the person who's cut off that you might miss opportunities for connecting that are there. Or maybe you're so convinced that this person needs to be the one to make the first move that you're not making the first move yourself. If you want to have a conversation.
Well, I think you're a little hung up on this person.
Well, yeah.
Like you're kind of putting yourself out in the cold.
I feel they've been left. I feel like you've been feeling like you've been cast out, but you have more control over the situation than you think. If you just try to keep it off the touch.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
You know what? Actually, hold those. I can turn it off. I can turn the touchpad off. Hold on.
There you go.
Now, if you put the cards there, it won't.
Oh, so you could have fixed this problem, but you didn't.
Did I just fix it now?
I think you're beating yourself up a little bit about what's going on, about how things turned out, about needing to have a conversation, some closure.
Sometimes you need to give yourself your own closure.
I think you're yeah, like, I mean, this person is kind of this person is I think this does represent the other person. Like, they're just kind of whatever. And I think you're like, but I need answers. I need this. I need that. I think there's a certain beating yourself up over it.
The Page of Wands is the third card in this reading, and the Page of Wands is. This is somebody who can kind of sometimes get a little caught up in the perceived magic, in the wonder of a situation, in the not grounded feeling. Oh, this person just made me feel really good about myself, and they get attached to that, but not the person themselves. Does that make sense? Almost like being caught up in.
I do see that a little bit. I kind of see that you're hinging. There's some stuff going on in your life right now that you are like, things would be better if only I could have. You're kind of like, there's a bit of a, I don't know, I don't want to call it a fantasy. That's not necessarily
being attached to the perception.
Like, if I can have this conversation, if we can talk this through, if we can do this and if we can do that, things will be better for you on a personal level. I'll understand what happened and can move on with my life.
Yeah.
I'll get some closure and can move on with my life. I don't know if this, I'm not sensing.
I think this person is just off having a good time right now and is moving on with their life in some way. And you're kind of missing that. And you want them to come back and be and work all this out. And the reality is they're not necessarily interested in working it out, because that's going to interfere with where they're at in their journey. I definitely feel like, I'm agreeing with you. I kind of feel like you're hung up on something that has really already had some resolution. You just don't want to see that resolution yet.
Well, we actually had a conversation about closure and things like that.
Moving on from past relationships.
Moving on and closure and things like that. And I think that there's a part of you that feels like you cannot, that you have to know, that you can't, and you're literally holding yourself back from other things in your life, from other ways to be happy, because you're looking for this.
Yeah.
Now, you guys, this is not saying whether or not you guys have the conversation, whether or not you guys have this conversation that you would desperately like to have.
It's time for you to move on with your life regardless.
It's time for you to move on regardless. You may or may not have this conversation, but this person is not going to say, I owe you a conversation, let's talk.
Yeah.
You're going to bump into them one day and they're going to go, oh, hey, let's have a coffee. And then you'll talk. It might happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to be almost a coincidence that it happens, and not something that they are also looking for.
Totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. Hopefully that brings
I don't think it necessarily occurs to them that that's something that there may be a part where they owe you a conversation. But unfortunately,
well, whether they do or don't doesn't mean that they will.
There's people that owe me money from 40 years ago. I'm still not getting it. Nothing's changing. I'm not getting it back.
Thanks,
right?
Jacqueline. So that is everything.
Focus on you. Don't worry. Whether or not,
try to look after your own needs. I feel like there's been an over focus on wanting that resolution or that growth or that healing to come from externally, and you need to find it within yourself.
Yeah. But you may have the. If you happen to bump into him, if you happen to catch him at the right time,
him or her,
you may end up having the conversation, but they're not looking for it.
And you're also not in control of that process as much as you might want to be.
There's very little that you can do to make that happen, and you're just making yourself miserable waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's friendship, romantic, work, it doesn't matter. Like, relationships are relationships, and how we engage with people. Yeah, it's. Hopefully that was helpful. Who's going to be up next, babe? So
I'm sorry. Desist Dawdling.
It's Tina, right? I think it's Tina.
I think what the cards are telling you is don't worry about don't expect it. Don't put so much.
Don't put your life on hold waiting for it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And Empress, the list is closed.
The list is closed. We've been going for
almost 2 hours.
Yeah. We got like about a 45-minute whatever before. I guess it wasn't that long, but we were already on a previous video that crashed and had to start.
It was only like 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. All right. Should I continue with my current work from home business or change and venture out with my recent researching projects? Should I stay or should I go? Okay. Okay, a rifle, and then I'm ready for you to cut. Who's going to be after Tina so I can get ready?
Oho Divine.
You're going to be up after.
Oho Divine is next after this one.
Okay. All right. First up, Three of Swords. There's been a lesson learned. There's been maybe some challenges that you've moved past, maybe not specifically overcome, but definitely moved out of that situation. And as a result, I feel like there's been some growth, some lessons learned, an opportunity to expand your personal awareness of yourself, your self-awareness. Three of Swords to me is very much about the lesson. What have you learned? Probably not the easy way, right? What have you learned the hard way? And how has that contributed to where you are now? And
I kind of read this I agree with that, but I also read this when I see the Three of Swords, it's like something's got to give. You've got to make a choice, and you don't have a choice. Does that make sense?
No.
Basically, like,
I mean, I would see that if that was the Two of Swords, but the Three of Swords to me is more about how did you get where you are, at least in my experience.
Okay.
How did you get where you are?
Yeah, but I kind of see like you've basically like you don't necessarily feel you don't feel like
being where she is right now is making
you don't
her
feel like you have a good choice. You feel like you feel like you don't feel like you're not in a position. I don't think we buffered for anybody else.
We didn't get the little notice saying that our connection is weak, so I think we're still doing it.
I've always taken this to be, you have choices to make, and not all, and not none of your choices necessarily are all that great.
I don't know. I still think that's more Two of Swords. I'm feeling a little bit stubborn because to me, I feel like the Three of Swords is something's already happened. Something's already been experienced.
I have, you know what, my dragon deck, I think the book in my dragon deck basically says that something's got to go. Something's got to give. Something's got to give.
It makes sense because sometimes in the Three of Swords, we're beating ourselves up, or we're hung up and we're not moving forward. Sometimes there's a stuckness.
It sounds like you're trying to make both happen together at the same time, and you're going to have to give something up in order to either continue doing what you're doing now. It's like something has to give because what you're doing now isn't working.
Yeah, you're in a stuck place for sure.
You're in a stuck place.
The Queen of Pentacles. I don't know why I said Swords. Queen of Pentacles is up next. She is the helper, the nurturer. I'm gonna help people with tangible action. Okay. She's like the one who's gonna bug you. Like, have you been eating enough? Like, do you have enough water? Like, are you taking care of yourself properly? So the Queen of Pentacles in this situation to me is somebody who helps with tangible. And when you say researching project and also your home business, think about which one of those makes you feel like you're helping people with tangible actions, makes you see that accomplishment in tangible ways. Sometimes, even though we want to do the more cerebral work or the work that has less tangible material stuff you can get your hands on, the work that actually fulfills you is the work where you see the results of your work. And so I would think about that and think about what makes you feel the most accomplished and also get the most tangible reward for effort. So this can also be about making sure you're paid enough.
I think, yeah. I mean, I really did just focus on the coin because that just really what caught my attention first. I think your biggest challenge right now is that what you want to be doing and what pays the bills.
Yeah, what will actually result in the most tangible. Yeah.
And I think that's a really stuck place for you right now. I do think you have, and again, I mean, I see this as about something's got to give. You've got to give something up. Mm-hmm. It could be that you need to give up some of your, maybe you have a very active social life and maybe you need to give some of that up because it's in your best interest to focus on both right now, or you have to give up one or the other. But I do sense that something's got to give because you're in that place where you're running out of options that you feel are positive. Because you're trying to balance this and it's not.
We got our Five of Cups boy again. And I will say the first thing that popped into my head when I saw this image actually was that sometimes when we're multitasking, we're spreading ourselves so thin that we're doing nothing well. And you might be feeling like you're stacking up more failures than successes simply because you're trying to do too much all at once. You're trying to do well at the job and you're trying to at the business and you're also trying to do well at the research projects. And as a result, you feel like you can't do well at any of it. But reality is right behind you are reminders of what and how you excel. And leaning into your strengths is not a bad thing, right? You can lean into your strengths.
Yeah, you're concerned about what you're going to lose, and you're not thinking about what you're going to gain.
Interesting.
That's where I'm seeing it right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. I do think there's with the Five of Cups next to the Queen of Pentacles, though I definitely think there's making the wrong decision could result in a tangible financial loss.
Yeah.
So you really need to look at your numbers and see what makes sense financially.
I think this is a time to look at your numbers and look at what your opportunities are. If you decide to pursue one, if you decide to give up one and pursue the other, it's not a bad thing.
Just be aware.
But a lot of times we focus on what we gave up.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on what we're gaining. And I think that's what you need to think about.
I have a feeling if you pressure yourself to make the decision too soon, you're likely to experience tangible loss. And I feel like if you take your time and really think the process through, like there's no rush. And maybe the solution is neither. A lot of times when we're stuck in an either or, the solution is something in between that you haven't thought of yet. The solution is something a little more creative than what you think your two options are.
Yeah, well, like and like I said, like the Three of Swords, something's got to give, but it's not necessarily something that's visible and obvious to you yet.
Yeah.
So there's the possibility.
That's true.
But I mean, it's not necessarily a definitive answer, but it's like, don't forget that you still, even if you choose to completely give up on one and focus on the other, it will lead to opportunities.
I do think
so don't focus on what if you do decide to give up something, don't focus on what you're giving up. Focus on the opportunity that it's opening up.
If I were to boil this down into a nutshell, I would say that your answer is in the money. Your answer is focusing on what you need to take care of your financial responsibilities.
I think that
first.
If you can't,
yes, it is. Hi, Savage. Sorry,
we've got 2 people left, and then we're done.
Who's up next? By the way,
Oho Divine is next.
Oho Divine, and then who?
Christy.
And then Christy.
Kristi.
Christy. Okay, gotcha. Oho Divine, and then Christy. Hopefully that helps, Tina, and gives some clarity. Yeah. I know it's like a little bit less definitive, but you really need to look at where your finances are.
I didn't pick up a sense of urgency.
No, me either.
So you still got plenty of time to make a decision, but don't get hung up in being miserable about whatever it is that you choose to leave behind. Don't get so focused on regretting and resenting and being upset about what you left behind that you're not going to enjoy what's coming up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the list is closed.
We might be. We haven't decided yet. We try not to lock ourselves in. But probably we seem to go on Sundays a lot.
Okay, like we've already had a bit of the chat. Once the weather starts getting crappy around here, we're probably going to pick a schedule and kind of try and stick to it.
We'll see. I'm really resistant to a schedule right now.
Right now, well, we're busy right now.
Yeah.
Because
and I like to keep our schedule more loose. What's the Are we waiting for somebody?
Yeah, we're waiting for Oho or Oh No Divine.
Are you still in here? Oho or Oh No Divine. I don't know if they've been in here for a bit.
I haven't seen them.
And Christy, are you still here?
Kristi.
Christy or Oho Divine. We'll give it a minute or so. It's 1:21 now, so we'll wait till 1:22.
I'll tell you what we'll do. Because we okay a reading from a different one that she was in and just missed out because we ran out of time. So let's do a reading for Kay right now. Christy's here. Okay.
All right, Christy, hit us with your question.
Oh no, we're gonna skip because I don't think Ono's here. We'll do Christy, and then that gives us time to throw a quick one in for Kay if you're up for if you're interested, because I know that
she said thanks.
Yeah, well, she's been in a couple of times and just barely missed out on getting one. So I knew that
we'll answer Christy's question and then
we'll
Kay's
do Christy's
question.
and Kay, and then we'll be done.
And then we'll be all wrapped up.
Oh, you're welcome, Kay. I know you missed out, so I didn't see the off.
Oh, I was going to show you a note that Kay said about where she lives. Let's see. Here it is, right here. She's in Bracebridge.
Muskoka, yes.
And then she said, don't feel bad. I'm making a doll with pins as we speak.
Alrighty then. Oh my God. Maybe we'd better.
Don't you dare forget again.
I don't think we want to. Yeah, nothing but good things for you.
Hi, Savage. The list is closed.
Yeah, list is closed. Christy's question is, do I continue to put everything into the joint project, or do I step out on my own?
All right, let's see. So we're looking at collaborate or solo, basically.
Yeah.
Continue to collaborate or solo. Ready to cut?
Mm-hmm. What piece of candy did we get this time?
The Three of Pentacles is legitimately the collaboration card in the entire deck. It is like if there was one card that speaks to teamwork, it's that one. So definitely that if I were to just answer your question with one card, it'd be like continue with the joint project. But let's see what else comes up. Sorry, I know that was but that was so definitive.
Okay,
right?
no, it's a pretty I'm not even going to disagree with that. It makes sense.
Okay, hold on here. Are you the king or the queen? You're the king. So we've got the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles. Now, the King of Pentacles is the manager. He is somebody who's established, who's been doing something a long time and is kind of continuing with what he's good at. And again, the King of Pentacles is not somebody who makes fast, impulsive moves. He's somebody that definitely goes for stability and structure. And I think with that and the 3, we're definitely still leaning towards sticking with what you're doing now. There's a call to stability and a call to seeing things through, and maybe also responsibilities and what you have committed, following through on your commitments. That's what I was saying.
And I always see the Pentacles as having a financial piece. So I think from whatever's going on from a financial perspective, may be in your best interest to stay in the project. So
yeah, I agree. There's some tangible reward to seeing this through a little bit further.
Yeah. There's something in it for you to see it through, some benefit.
Your 3rd card is the Moon. Make sure you're not leaving it shadows. I have a feeling that the reason that you're doubting this collaborative project or this collaborative experience is because maybe you've had a bit of a lack of trust. Something's kind of interrupted the flow or the lack of trust, and there's this fear that something else is going on for the other person. That may be the case, but make sure you're not leaving it shadows and seeing what's not really there. Make sure that you're seeing the situation clearly. Moonlight has a tendency to cast things in shadow and make things look a little bit different than the way that they really are.
Oh, the collaborator is way behind in paying me. Aha. So the financial piece, okay, so
don't take no shit. Like, have your boundaries. Yeah, go right to them and say, hey, it's payday.
I need my money. It's payday.
Yeah.
So you may not, okay. So the collaboration here might just be making sure that communication stays open.
It needs to be crystal clear. When you're working with somebody, your boundaries and what you require, make sure that you're not beating around the bush, hinting and just waiting for them to come through. Like, be like, hey, this is when this was due. This payment is due. Make sure that you get it to me. And they'll respect you more for holding your boundaries and standing up for yourself, and they'll be less likely to walk all over you.
So financially, it's financially in your better interest to stay on the project, but don't get so moonstruck that you do the wrong thing. So yeah, like maybe to
me, this is very much about, this is the manager, this is the boss. And I have a feeling you've leaned away from being the one to take charge.
Yeah.
And this is a call to take charge. This is your shit too. And you need to stand up for what you deserve and what you should be getting. And if you do this and you still don't get follow through, then you get the hell out of there. You don't even need the cards to tell you that.
Like, I mean, it's in your best interest it's in your best interest to make the effort.
Yeah.
At the very least.
There's definitely a need to communicate.
If you're without knowing background details, it'd be like, oh yeah, keep doing the thing. But with that little piece, by providing that little detail, I don't think anything really changes in what you could or should be doing.
Lean into that position of the manager, though. Yeah. Lean into that position of the King of Pentacles. You're the leader. You're the one in charge. Even if it's collaborative, aha. I've been told over and over that I'm a leader and don't see it, but I'm an Aries sun. Dude, there's a freaking ram in this dang card. Like, if you're Aries sun, you need to lean into that Aries. You need to lean into that Aries energy now. Demand what you deserve. Don't be afraid to step up. Be more confrontational. I have a feeling you're trying so hard to be nice that you're not. Well, that's where things start to fall apart for you, though.
Well, there's a lot of reasons why. There's a lot of reasons
why.
I'm
really blunt.
There's a lot of reasons why it's in your best interest right now to stay on the project. But
you got to be the
obviously,
boss.
no matter what the cards say, no matter what the cards say, letting yourself get taken advantage of in order to do so isn't okay.
Not only is it not okay, but your role is to do the opposite.
This is kind of what this is about. Is like, okay, so don't just be like la 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 and letting it happen.
Yeah, don't. And also, the moon oftentimes makes us think things are going on that aren't.
Yeah.
And they can also be about just a lack of clarity, but the lack of clarity is partly because you're not being confrontational and communicative enough. You need to be willing to step. I'm saying confrontational on purpose because I have a feeling that you have a tendency to swing too far to being a yes girl, like somebody who just kind of like goes with the flow.
Oh, the money's coming. I'm just sorting out some stuff and you'll get it next week. And it's like, okay, I'll get back on the project next week.
Hi, Kate. Good to see you. Our list is currently closed and we're just about to wrap up. We're only doing one more reading and that person is Kay.
Yeah, Kay is next.
Hit us with your question, Kay, when you're ready.
I don't necessarily see that you're in a bad spot at the very least, what you've learned, what you're doing with the project.
Shut down in conflict. Yeah. And you're being called to step it up.
You know what? This is not conflict. This is what you're owed.
Yeah, you just need to step up and look after your own best interest. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, it's good for you to be on the project, but it's not good for you to let the moon card take over and turn it into something that's not working for you.
Yeah.
But
hopefully that brought some clarity.
At the very least, make detailed notes on what you haven't done so that the next project is better.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to learn from your experiences, and don't be afraid to walk away if you communicate your needs and the other person is like, too bad.
And don't be afraid to bring in other people.
If
backup support, when
you're collaborating though, you sometimes don't have the option to do that without the other person being okay with it.
If you're collaborating with if you're collaborating on a project,
oh, so glad, Christy. Good. So, Kay, if you're still here, hit us with your question, and then we're gonna wrap up and maybe grab some lunch, do some.
Make me a sandwich.
I'm not making you a sandwich. You make your own damn sandwich. I've been accepted at the Children's Literature Institute. Congratulations. I can do it online on my time. I will have a complete manuscript and BA when I'm done. Should I do it now or later? Practical question. Is there a time limit on when you have to accept? Because I think that's important information to have. In other words, will this like be an offer that expires at a certain point, or is it something you can literally jump on whenever you want? Standing offer, because that's important context, I think, for this question. No time limit. Okay. Ready?
So I think the bigger question is, should you do it now? Oh, yeah, now or later. Now. Oh, my God. Lucy, we've already answered the question for you.
All right. The Magician. You already have all the skills you need. If you're holding yourself back because you're like, am I ready? The answer is yes, you're ready. So there's no question of, is this the right time ability-wise? The only question is going to be, and then we'll look at the other two cards, is going to be, are there any other reasons why you should wait or not wait?
So, yeah, but the skill is there and you're good to go that way.
Like the Magician,
no, I totally agree with that.
He has all the tools on his table. It's like he is
you have everything you need to succeed at this.
I will point out that sometimes the Magician, like it's interesting, he's got this like flaming wand and the squirrel's about to take off with his sword. So just make sure while you have everything and you have all of the skills that you need, make sure that you're not going in. Make sure you go in with beginner's mind if you're going to proceed. We'll see the other cards, but beginner's mind is like, don't go in thinking you know it all. Definitely, you have all the skills, but be really open to the learning process. Did I say that right?
Well, I'm not sure. Basically you can having all the tools that you need to succeed does not mean that there's nothing for you to learn.
Yes.
So there's always something new to learn. But you've got you will if you do this, you will succeed. It's that simple. You will succeed.
See, I see this. I don't see this predictably like that. I think it's just saying you've got what you need.
Yeah, period. You've got the skills.
But I don't think it's a guarantee of success. Like you still have to put the work in.
Okay, I mean you can join up. You can join something and then just simply not put the work into it and not succeed. But you have the tools.
You have the tools to succeed.
Yeah,
agree. Queen of Cups is your second card. Queen of Cups is somebody who is well aware of what her own emotional limitations are, what her feelings are. She's very in touch with her emotional self, her psychological self. She's definitely got an open heart and also a vulnerability. Be aware that you have needs for self-care that are important to consider. So if going for it means your self-care will suffer, think about how you can build in more self-nurturing.
Yeah, I don't think the skill is the issue. I think the personal motivators,
there's a bit here about also, I think, free time and the fear of giving up that extra free time. The things that you normally do to sort of fill your cup might suffer a little bit with schooling. And I think it's just, you can actually build in routines to still prioritize you in this situation.
But I think that's the deciding factor, is making sure that you have everything in place for your own emotional needs. Okay, yeah, time and personal needs. So I think taking a look at the nuts and bolts of the expectations to make sure that your time and personal needs won't suffer is the bigger issue than whether or not you can succeed at the program.
Yeah, and the final card is the Ace of Swords. And I really feel like the overall answer to your question is yes, you should go for it. But don't be afraid to, at the same time you're going for it, build in some cushion for yourself for time.
Yeah.
So like what I was saying in an earlier reading actually is really true here as well. When you're talking about school, is make sure that you remember you can do the program in a longer period of time than you might be thinking you should. Sometimes when we jump into something, we think, okay, I'm going to do it this much all at once. And especially if you're new to going back to especially
going back to school,
especially when you're going back to school,
if you're new to learning.
Anyways, there's a tendency,
all that book learning.
There's a tendency to try to sign up for too many courses all at once, thinking, oh, I can handle this. I guess my point is err on the side of caution.
Yeah,
sign up for just a little less than you think you can handle. Less than you think you can handle.
I don't think your ability to succeed at the program itself is the issue.
This is the crux, is the Queen of Cups. Make sure that you take on less.
Yeah, so look up the parameters of the program. Look up how all this. I think you need to literally look into into how this is going to be set up to make sure.
If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, proceed with caution and make sure that you're like, if this requires you to do 6 classes in the first semester and you haven't got time for that, you may have to make a decision.
If I'm correct, most of these programs allow you to finish it basically in as much time as you want. If you think you can handle 3 classes at one time, pare yourself down to 2. If you think you can handle 2, pare yourself down to 1 for the first quarter or semester or whatever, so that you're basically intentionally sign up for less.
Oh, sorry, Claudia. This is our last reading, and we're going to be done in a few minutes.
So, Kate, I would say intentionally, when you go for it, sign up for less at a time than you think you can handle until you get your bearings, and then you can decide.
Yeah, I think the social emotional piece is the issue.
Yeah, agreed.
The work itself, you'll succeed. You will succeed at this program.
Take care, Claudia.
So just make sure that you're doing the things that don't put you in such a position of overwhelm that you have to quit because you're just overworked or overwhelmed or whatever. Because I don't think that's that's the bigger piece that you need to focus on. And I don't think.
But the answer is yes. Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it. Just take care of yourself in the process.
Yeah, go for it and make sure that what you're signing up for matches what the amount of work and energy that you're able to put into it.
100%. Yeah, make sure that you've got some good buffer in there for your personal care time. Because I know me, when I first went to college, I ended up signing up for way more. I was like, oh, I can do 5 classes in a quarter. It's fine. And so if I'd have made myself start with only 3, I would have had a much more successful first quarter. And I wouldn't have, and I was working full time, so I wouldn't have burdened myself nearly as much. Yeah. So whatever the number is.
But I think there's.
Thanks, Kay. But yeah, trust yourself. And
thank you, Kay.
Yeah, definitely don't take on more than.
I mean, practical advice without the tarot is, well, take a look at what the program has to offer and see if you can just pick up classes piecemeal so that you never are at risk of overwhelming yourself.
It's an online program, so she should have that ability to do.
Well, this is the thing, and that did skew our advice a little bit, but the thing is that the very first card, the Magician, you've got this. You can. It's not a problem. The class isn't a problem. You'll do
your
well.
Your skills are on point.
Your skill. You have the skills that you need to succeed. There's no problem with that. So you just
any self-doubt you can definitely lay to rest as far as ability.
Yeah, the ability is there. You're willing to learn. You're willing to grow into that field. You already have the base skills that you need to make sure that you'll succeed and that you're in a good place to learn better skill, like to learn to build on that.
Yep, totally agree.
So just. The more practical side of it is just to make sure that you're not going to be in a position of emotional overwhelm.
Yep.
And in the practical world of online education,
I'd go to the school, but I like the idea of online. Online is going to give you a lot more flexibility in your schedule too.
Yeah.
You'll be able to do things more at your own pace and work with what you can take on bandwidth wise. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad that thanks.
Aw, you're welcome.
Thanks abundance. And thanks everybody else for hanging out with us. That was fun.
That was super fun. We'll do another one soon. Remember to subscribe, like all that good stuff.
Go ahead
and hit the little bell because when it works, it's super handy. And if you're not already, I like to announce in the Supportive Tarot Facebook group before we go live. So there's a bit of extra warning.
You can also set a reminder, can't you?
On YouTube, once the event is up, you can set a reminder. But if you're not in the Facebook group and you're on Facebook,
we do try and give some warning.
That's another way to get more warning.
Anybody who's new, anybody who's new or not new, any video that we're doing where we are doing readings, it says right in the video title.
Yeah, so if it doesn't say live pre-readings, we're not doing it.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, because we do lives for a couple of other things too. Well, one other thing. So it'll say right in it that we're doing live readings, so you'll know if that's what you're in the mood for. Anyway,
exactly.
Thanks a lot, guys. It's been fun as usual. And we have to go, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye. Go ahead and click the button. You clicking the button.
Clicking it.
Click the button.
Clicking it.
Click the button.